Hey guys, my name is Amanda. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here today. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you like what you see, please consider doing so. If you do, please hit that bell button so you're notified every single time that I upload. Everyone, please give me a thumbs up as that is a free way to help your girl out here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoy the video, so let's get right into it. Let's jump right into DIY number 1. For this DIY, I'm going to show you how I made this gorgeous farmhouse style ladder using Dollar Tree items. So I began with 1.5 of these long skinny MDF signs from Dollar Tree. One is split in half using my miter saw, and then I just cut an equal sized piece off of another long skinny MDF sign. Then I took these 4 wooden garden stakes that you can find at any hardware store, craft store, and I believe, and I cut off that little pointy tip, and then I'm just going to be attaching these wooden pieces into 2 sets of 2. I am then going to take my long skinny NBF signs. These are going to be the shelves on my ladder, and I'm going to use hot glue and Gorilla Glue, not directly on top of each other, but side by side to give me a temporary and a long-term hold. I'm going to adhere one of these right between the middle of those 2 long wooden stakes, and then I'm going to do one toward the top and one toward the bottom. I did not give measurements as it really depends on how large you want your ladder to be. Dollar Tree does carry these MDF signs in a variety of sizes. Now once everything is put together, I paint the entire thing with a coat of Waverly Plaster chalk paint. Then I take this Dollar Tree trash can and I'm using my little wire snippers to remove the top rim and also that bottom circle. We're going to set the bottom aside because we will be using it. Now I'm just going to place this trash can piece on top of the back of my ladder. So just decide what you want the back to be, and I'm just going to fold over the sides of this piece so nobody gets jabbed or stabbed with them. And I'm just going to take my husband's stapler that I'm not very good at working, and I'm just going to staple this down onto those wooden and MDF pieces. Then of course I'm going to staple the top, the bottom, and the sides, and I will repeat the same process with another piece of that trash can. They can overlap in the middle because when you flip it over you will not see that. And of course I cut off any excess and fold the pokey pieces down. Now I'm just taking a beautiful piece of ribbon that I had purchased at clearance Hobby Lobby last year. It says Live Simply, and I just cut that piece and put it right on that middle shelf. Then I'm taking some wired jute twine from Dollar Tree, sorry I almost said Walmart, and I'm just crisscrossing it over, and I'm going to do that on each part where these shelves meet on the sides, those wooden pieces. Now I decided it was easier to use rope, so I did just use the wired jute twine on one spot, and then I just went around with some pieces of rope to create X's on all of the other places. Now I'm taking the bottom of that trash can and I just placed it right on top of that trash can in the top portion of my shelf, and I just push it through because there is one layer of those little spiky things that I can push through and fold around the back of the piece that is on my ladder. So hopefully that makes sense. But once I have those little pieces folded down, it hooks it on there, and I just added a little bit of hot glue to adhere everything. That is done. I'm just going to take some of this beautiful greenery that I got at Hobby Lobby, 50% off, and I'm just going to go around this wreath form in a circular motion, just gluing down little pieces and tucking them down into those little wire holes, and this is what it looks like. I think this is so pretty, so detailed, and those little wooden blocks you'll see later on in this video, but I think this is absolutely gorgeous and very customizable. You could use a white trash can and paint your shelves any color that you like. I really hope that you enjoy this DIY as well as the rest of the video. Now let's talk about today's challenge. Every month on the 1st, I host or co-host with my friends Chantel from the Crafty Hints and Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. We take turns hosting and co-hosting, and we always have a super fun theme. So this month's theme is Farm Fresh and Fabulous. These ladies are amazing and talented creators. I can't wait to see what they come up with, as well as our playlist. Everything will be linked my description box. DIY number 2. For this DIY, I'm going to show you this gorgeous wood round using Dollar Tree items to decorate it. The wood round itself, however, is from Hobby Lobby. Oh, this is a very good deal. I purchased 6 of these in a package. It was $12.99 but 50% off. So I found that to be a very good deal and right around Dollar Tree prices. So I drew a line about in the middle of this wood round, and my daughter painted the bottom part of it with a celery chalk paint by Waverly. I then took beautiful scrapbook pack that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. It was $5.99, but it was 50% off, and I could not believe what a good deal it was with all of these scrapbook pages, stickers, little pop-outs, even letter stickers. It was so adorable. So I chose a piece that I liked, and then I generously coated the top part of our round with glue stick. I then placed that paper on top, and then I just kind of filled in that little section that the paper didn't cover, trying to match up my lines on the paper. And then I took a piece of sandpaper. I can't seem to find my sanding block from Dollar Tree, and I need a new one anyway, so I just used this sanding paper to sand off the excess. I'm going to be using this family sign from Dollar Tree. In the picture I just showed you, I was showing you what it looked like before I took it off of the box that it came on, kind of like a framed picture. So anyway, I that family and lightly painted it with Waverly Plaster chalk paint, just a rough coat, so some of that dark brown could show through. Place it on top of another piece of scrapbook paper from that pack and cut it to size. I had that glued down, and then I glued the whole thing right down in the middle of our round, so this is what it looks like. I lightly distressed over that celery chalk paint with some Waverly Plaster chalk paint. I am then going to be using this little cotton stems. I decided to only use one from Dollar Tree and create a bow with Dollar Tree ribbon. I kind of call this my X bow because I just fold these over into an X formation till I have 2 loops on either side. I crunch them together in the middle and tie them tightly with a piece of twine. I usually go around with the twine a couple of times and just tie a really tight knot. I then cut off the excess, and we have a cute little bow. I decided at the last minute that I wanted tails, so I took another piece of this ribbon and I just kind of twisted it over at the top and glued it together, and then glued it right down on our round where I wanted my bow to go. Once I was done with that, I glued the bow right down on top of it with some hot glue. Then I took my scissors and dovetailed the ends or the tails of this bow by cutting a triangle upward. Once that is done and my bow is arranged exactly how I like it, I am going to take this little cotton stem and I'm going to glue it down right in the middle of my bow, and then I'm going to take some Waverly antique wax around the whole outer circle. Once that is done, I use whatever is left on the brush to go over the top and bottom of the circle. Then I just take a piece of sandpaper, stress around the edges and a little bit in the middle. The last step to this project is taking a piece of jute twine and folding it over and then tying it at the bottom. Now, I probably will not hang this sign. I will probably just put it on a plate stand, but here's an option for hanging it. I just go ahead and glue this little hanger with hot glue onto the back of my sign, and here is what it looks like. So gorgeous, very customizable. I just absolutely love how it looks, and in my opinion, it looks very, very farmhouse and is perfect for all year, and I really hope that you like this as well. Okay, so now let's jump right into DIY number 3. For this DIY, I'm going to show you how to make this large, very large, gorgeous, sturdy box with Dollar Tree items. I begin with 3 of these long Dollar Tree signs that come in various colors with various cutouts. two of the dry erase boards with wooden frames, and one of these trays, which I broke apart. Actually, two of these trays, which I broke apart, and I'm going to use the back of. Now I'm going to go back to our wooden frame dry erase boards, and I'm going to paint them with Waverly Plaster chalk paint. Then I'm going to take the back of our trays that we broke off, and I'm going to stain them with Waverly Antique Wax. Once they are stained, I'm going to glue them to one side of our little dry erase board. Of course, I'm going to do that twice. Now I'm coming back to these three large signs, and I am just cutting off the cutout parts. They score and then break really easily, so I just use scissors. I'm going to attach these in a box shape with my Gorilla Glue and hot glue alternating. So I lay one flat to be the bottom, stand one up on the side on top of a generous amount of that glue, and I just kind of hold it up while I'm taking some of these little wood blocks and gluing them down along the edge where the two meet for stability. I do that for the left and right side, or front and back, however you're looking at it. And then I'm going to use these sides, these little dry erase boards as the sides, and I am going to glue them down again with the same glue concoction. And then I'm going to glue along the inside edges to make sure it's stable. And I'll cover up that gluey mess by taking a piece of Dollar Tree rope and running it up those sides and leaving a loop at the top to be a handle. I'm doing that on both sides, and once that is done, I decided to go ahead and cover the outside of these dry erase board frames with some Dollar Tree rope as well. I just think that adds a little bit more texture, ties everything together, and also covers up any mess that we may have made with the glue by attaching these. So I just go ahead and do that for some added extra detail. And now I'm going to take a cow from Walmart that cost me almost $1.50 around, and I'm going to paint that with Waverly Antique Wax and put that on the front with hot glue. I'm then going to come into these sides. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I decided to just brush on some Waverly Antique Wax and wipe it off, because the insides of these sides have that wooden piece that is stained. So this just ties everything together. So I just showed you that there are some different options for the farmhouse animals over at Walmart, but I love this little cow, so there he is. So here is the rooster, which you could use. He's just a little bit too tall, or a pig. And here's what this looks like. So sturdy, so gorgeous, so large. I actually placed a Coke 12-pack box inside of here to place my greenery on top of to display it. So that is how large it is. I really hope that you like this DIY for just a few dollars, a large, substantial, functional piece. DIY number 4 is quick, easy, and adorable. I'm going to show you how I made over these wood blocks from Dollar Tree that come 3 to a pack. So I took 2 packages of these wood blocks, and I am going to stain them by painting on some Waverly Antique Wax and then going ahead and wiping it off with a paper towel. I also like to use baby wipes. Taking these stickers from the scrapbook pack that I had showed you, and I am just deciding which ones I want and placing them on my wooden blocks. Of course, they will overlap and look a little silly at first, and then you'll see what I do. So I do add some hot glue underneath them just because the sticky doesn't really want to stick to the antique wax. Now I'm going to take a piece of sanding paper and I'm going to go around that image following the grain or the shape of this block there. So once you do that, this image will become circular and you're just kind of trimming off the excess. And then these little images will fit inside of the circle part of that side of the dice. So there's what my little cow looks like. So I do that on all of them. And then for 4 of them, I flip them over and I just use some of the stickers that were in that scrapbook pack. And I just use the HOMNE so that I can turn this over and also have it say home. So again, quick, easy, customizable. Dollar Tree has stickers. They have letter stickers. They have all kinds of things. I do Mod Podge over these just to make them more durable and wipeable. And here is what it looks like. I hope you like that. Now let's jump right into DIY number 5, this cute little home sign. So I had showed this earlier to show you how this little word is kind of on top of this shadow box. So I am going to take it and take it apart by just popping the back off, removing that image best I can, and I actually flip it over and remove the sticker with my heat gun. Once that is done, I'm going to put a generous amount of Mod Podge on there and come back in with a piece of the scrapbook paper that I had previously used, and then I'm just going to use my sandpaper to trim off the excess of this and give me a nice clean and beautiful edge. Once that is all done, I'm going to go back to the home image, and I had decided just to leave that the colors that it is, but you could totally paint it. I added some glue to the back and put the backing back on there. Here is what it looks like. So pretty, but of course I wanted to decorate it up a little. And I do cover that backing with some brown craft paper. I take this Dollar Tree Farmhouse ribbon and I'm just going around the top and side edges of this. Then I decide to add another strip to the top and bottom, under and over that word, or beneath and on top of that word, however you want to say that, then trim off the excess. I just think this really dresses it up and makes it super cute. I then take a little bow that I make with this ribbon and just kind of glue that in the side at an angle. And this is an adorable piece. It's a good size. You could fit it on a large tier tray or just a space where you need a nice little statement piece that screams farmhouse. I absolutely love it. Okay, guys, DIY number 6. So for DIY number 6, I'm going to show you this adorable little mini box made from Dollar Tree wood planks, perfect for your tiered tray. So here are the Dollar Tree wood planks. They come 6 to a pack. So I'm going to begin by placing one flat on my work surface and then taking another one and gluing it like so upwards so it will form the side of my little crate. I then add some more hot glue on the inside seam, and I repeat the process on the other side using some hot glue. Now what I'm going to do with this side is glued slightly on top and one side is glued to the outside of that wood plank, if that makes sense. So there's just a slight difference. And when I place the other wood plank on, I'm going to just go in opposite directions. So I'm going to place one slightly kind of on the inside of that plank that's on the side and one slightly on top, but I'm going to do it opposite so everything balances out. And I just do the hot glue. So see, I'm kind of tucking that slightly on the inside there, and then the other side is slightly kind of on the top, covering that edge, and that works everything out perfectly. Now I'm just flipping it over, adding some hot glue to the inside, and then I'm going to flip the whole thing upside down and glue all along the edges so that I can place my bottom on. So here is how I just use 5 of these wood planks. So for $1.25, this is about $1 worth, and it's a cute little size for a tiered tray, a large tier tray, or another space. So here is the side of that tray that I had broken apart, and I'm going to take the side and just cover it in this Dollar Tree jute twine. This twine is actually found in the hardware section, and so I'm just going to glue it down and start wrapping and wrapping until I have this whole piece wrapped. Once it is completely wrapped, I'm going to use hot glue on either side to place it directly on top of this little, almost like a mini toolbox, and it fits perfectly in there. So you just add a generous amount of hot glue, tuck it right inside, and here is this adorable box. Now I did paint my box with Waverly Plaster chalk paint, but you could paint it any color that you like. So now to decorate this, I'm going to Mod Podge on the front, and I'm going to use a little scrap of that scrapbook paper that I have been using and put it right on there. Now it is not wide enough to cover the whole front, but it works perfectly for me. I just try to space it out there. I trim off the excess, and now I am going to go ahead and take another piece of that gorgeous Farmhouse Dollar Tree ribbon and place it along the bottom part of that front there. That will cover up that space. And for the top space, I actually think that that looks pretty cute. So here is what that looks like. Just trim off any excess. And now I'm going to create a little finger bow with the jute twine, but just wrapping it around my finger several times, tying it in the middle and allowing the ends to hang as tails. I glue that down at an angle. And here is what this looks like. I just put some greenery in it. So adorable, so inexpensive, and so cute. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Once again, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. If you do, don't forget that bell button. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Please leave any comments down below in the comment section, and I will see you soon. Take care, friends. Here's a brief recap of what we made: our wooden round, our wooden box, and then our little Live Simply ladder, as well as our wood dice and our home sign. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. I'm so glad you stopped by. Take care, friends, and I will see you very soon.
You can subscribe to my mom's channel, and thank you for watching today's craft and stay safe.